So you've been thinking about it and you've been wondering, man, maybe I should become a Star Citizen. Well, let's have an honest conversation about it. Go ahead and roll the intro.
Come on, man, I'm not trying to scam anybody here. I'm the dude. So that's what you call me, that or his dudeness or duder or, El Duderino.
All right, so for those of you who are too busy to watch the whole video, let's do a little TLDR. The answer is going to be a big fat no. For most people, Star Citizen isn't the game for them. But if you're curious to know why, let's have a good old-fashioned showdown. I'm going to give you 10 reasons why you shouldn't and 10 reasons why you should. We'll do a reason why you shouldn't and then a reason why you should, and by the end, I'll bet you have made up your mind.
Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules?
Reason number one, let's start with the game is in alpha and it is buggy as hell, man. I'm telling you that the most dangerous thing in this game is the elevators. Not just the elevators on space stations, the elevators on your ships. The ships actually have rooms that don't have oxygen that can kill you.
Do it! Just do it!
Star Citizen is by far the most beautiful game of its scale and size. Normally when we're talking about games, the bigger the game, the worse the graphics, right? The less engaging it's going to be. You're not going to see all the little details, but that doesn't apply to Star Citizen. Star Citizen is massive and beautiful. Reason number two you shouldn't play is the game does not hold your hand at all. There's a little tooltip in the bottom, but it's basically useless. So you're going to have to find out on your own how to make this thing work. And it's not the easiest, but the good news is the community will help you. Group play is completely awesome. Most of the fun things you're going to do in the verse are player driven. You're going to find that you're creating your own stories with your org mates and that you're engaging in these battles, and these battles are really fun, and it's really is the best part. All right, so for number three, the game has a really mature player base, and for some people, that's just not going to vibe for you. There's not going to be a bunch of 14-year-olds like they are on Fortnite, and if that's your kind of crew, then you're just not going to have fun here. There are so many different kinds of gameplay options. You can basically be whatever you want to be. You just want to haul stuff, you can haul it. You want to be a fighter, you can fight. You want to do nothing but ground combat, you can basically do that. It's really amazing what your options are in this game. Reason number four is this game is still in development, and it's gonna stay that way for a pretty long time. There's no beta in sight, so we're still in alpha. No other game in development has as much interaction with their fan base. CIG is completely engaged with their community. Their developers go on regular podcasts, just hanging out with the community. They go and they do events in person. It's not just this once a year thing with this massive group and you never really get to engage with anybody that actually works there. I've only been playing Star Citizen for about a year now, and I've met their community director. I've met a lot of really nice people.
Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules?
Okay, so number five is a big one, guys. Star Citizen is a resource hog, and you need a beefy computer to make this thing run really well. I'm talking high-end CPUs and high-end GPUs because this game is very intensive on your CPU. And if you don't have a solid-state drive to install it on, don't even bother.
Do it! Just do it!
Space combat is heart-pounding excitement. But you aren't just restricted to space, right? Like, when you're in a dogfight in space and you're feeling the thrusters are burning and you've got people behind you and they've got people in front of you, like it really does get your heart thumping, kind of like getting close to the end of the map in Tarkov. Like it really makes me excited. But you can also do really amazing ground combat where you're taking over facilities and your org mates are holding it, and whoever gets to the end and it's got the facility in hand is the winner. It's so much fun. So for number 6, it's kind of your personal preference here. If you are a lone wolf, you're going to miss out on so much of what Star Citizen has to offer. The multi-crew ships really are what makes the game special, and then the organization gameplay, where the players create their own stories, is really the most fun part. So if you like being alone all the time, you might still have fun, but you're going to miss out on a ton. Some of the biggest names in Star Citizen, online community, they engage. They really love talking to the other people in the community, and it's a lot of fun. Number 7 is not going to be a big deal for you Tarkov players, but for everyone else, it might kind of piss them off. So Star Citizen gets wiped. That means that everything that you've accumulated over the couple of months has the potential to get taken away. Now, the wipes aren't super common. It's not going to happen every other week, but they do happen, especially when the game state gets pretty unstable. They kind of need to reset it back to baseline. Star Citizen's community doesn't only engage online. What other game has events in real life that are just for fun? So Star Citizen has a thing called Bar Citizen, where they have bars and they invite fans to come, and they can drink beer and engage with the developers and the community team, or sometimes the players themselves just say, hey, this is the Dallas area Bar Citizen. If you like Star Citizen, come on down, we'll get some drinks and we'll talk about the game. And it's just a really cool time. Reason number 8 why you shouldn't play. Let's just run a little scenario. You've got a mining ship and you're out in the belt and you've got some sweet conch. But then all of a sudden, a pirate player shows up and just blows you up, and you think it's for griefing reasons, but really he's just trying to be a pirate, and that's what they do. If you hate PvP, Star Citizen is not for you. A lot of people do hate PvP, and they kind of have this vision in their mind where they're just going to sit out there and be all peaceful in the verse, but that's not going to happen. PvP is an important part of this game, and it's here to stay. And if you can't stand it, Star Citizen will probably never be the game for you. No other game will allow you to fly in space, then land on the planet, get out of your ship, have a full FPS battle, then get back in your ship and fly away with zero instancing. There's no load times. There's nothing. You go right from the space station to the ground, do the event, get back in your ship, and go right back up. And that can happen anywhere on any planet. You're not limited to some specific zone. So if you want to make sure that your fight happens on the Dayside, you just pick a Dayside part of the planet and go there.
Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules?
Reason number 9 might mostly apply to us old grumpy types, but if you hate change, Star Citizen is never going to be the game for you either. Well, maybe not never. Eventually they'll have it all fleshed out, but for right now, you can get really good at flying, and then they can completely change the way flying works. So in the upcoming patches, we're expecting the flight speeds to actually be reduced dramatically. This is going to change the way the dogfighting works. So if you can't handle that kind of change and you don't want to relearn systems that you've already learned, you might want to stick away, at least until the game is fleshed out and completely done.
Do it! Just do it!
The future of this game is super exciting. To me, sometimes it feels less like a game and more like a metaverse where people will come just to interact with each other and just have conversations, and it's big enough that scale is absolutely reasonable. It's still a game, but the future just really blows me away. So I saved what may potentially be the most important reason not to play, and I've never heard it before, but if you have poor impulse control, then Star Citizen might not be the game for you. The way their marketing works, it's so effective to make you feel like you've got to jump in and buy a ship, that you can find yourself pumping tons and tons of money in. And if you don't have control to stop yourself from spending, you can actually kind of mess things up for yourself. You should never be buying spaceships when you should be paying your bills. But I can totally see how the way they do their marketing might drive that addiction. Spaceships, man. The ships are just freaking awesome. They're so cool. Just having your ship landed on a pad and walking around it and going inside it and finding all the nooks and crannies and all the different things that you can interact with. And, you know, they all have toilets, even though they've already said that you're probably not going to have to poop in game. They have them just so that they look cool. And it blows me away every time I get into a new ship that I haven't seen before. Well, holy crap, you're still here. Well, if you're thinking maybe you do want to be a Star Citizen, go ahead and click on the link in the description and join. If you do it, we'll both get some extra starting bonuses, and I'll see you in the verse.